this video, I'm going to talk about how to get the most money out of your workers' comp case. My name is Bilal Kassim. I'm the managing partner at Pacific Workers. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That way you know when we have more information like today's video coming your way. So, how do you get more money out of workers' comp? I'm going to give you the 3 easiest ways to do that. Number 1, make sure you go to all your medical appointments. I can't tell you how many times I have clients who don't show interest in treating their medical issues. Maybe they don't want to go to the doctors because it's too far, or maybe they don't like what the doctor has to say, or maybe they don't like take medication, or whatever the case may be. They're not active in pursuing their medical care. Insurance companies look at workers' comp as a simple value proposition. They say, how much are we taking in premiums and how much are we paying out in claims? The idea is they want to take in more in premiums and paying out in claims so that they're profitable. Now you can guess if you're going to the doctor, it means you're costing money. And so the idea is if they're spending more money on your case, the more likely it is that they will pay you to go away. If you have, let's say, $5,000 in medical treatment and you've been injured and off work for 2 years, and you make a settlement demand asking for $50,000 to close out your medical care, they're probably not going to be too interested in doing that. The idea is that they haven't spent nearly that much and they don't foresee that as a financial risk going forward. However, if you've shown that you're diligent, you go to all your doctor's appointments, you follow the doctor's recommendations for treatment, you submit mileage reimbursement, you're active, you care about your case, the more you show that you're interested in pursuing your case, the more likely it is the insurance company is going to want to get rid of you. So again, make sure you're pursuing your medical treatment. Number 2 is a bit abstract, but it's about getting the right QME. So in workers' comp, there's doctors called qualified medical evaluators, and they really hold your case in their hands. They are typically more important than the treating physician because they write what's called narrative reports, where they review all your medical records, they do an evaluation, and they write a very thorough report addressing what we call medical legal issues. Typically, your treating physician won't do that. You see them, they fill out a form, they recommend treatment, they send you on your way. So their opinions aren't given as much weight in California in the workers' comp system. And so because of that, QMEs can make or break your case. Now, when you get to a QME, it's because you requested one from a state-issued panel. The person who requests the panel controls the panel's specialty. So when you're selecting your QME, you have to indicate what kind of QME you want. You can want an orthopedist, a neurologist, an internist, and even with internal medicine, you can talk about a pulmonologist, gastroenterologist. You can go to a chiropractor, a pain medicine doctor. There's a variety of different physicians and healthcare professionals that you can see for your evaluation, and picking the right one is a bit of an art. And so more often than not, the defense prefers orthopedic or occupational medicine doctors, typically because they tend to be more conservative, whereas the applicant side typically likes to pick pain medicine, physical medicine rehabilitation, or chiropractic for their chosen specialties for most types of injuries. The idea is those doctors tend to be more liberal and injured worker oriented. And I've seen tons of cases where an injured worker has gone to the wrong QME, and despite that they've had a legitimate injury, the QME says no injury, you're not entitled to benefits, you don't need medical care, this was all pre-existing. You sawed your arm off, but that was clearly already off, right? You didn't do that at work. Like, really crazy stuff, right? And trying to battle those reports can be incredibly difficult. We fight those reports by going to what's called depositions, where we cross-examine the doctor about their opinion. But as you can imagine, arguing with an orthopedist who's been practicing medicine for 30 years can be very difficult. We can also request supplemental reports and provide additional records to the QME, but trying to get the QME to change their mind is very difficult. So once you've gone down that path, you're kind of stuck. And so getting the right QME from the beginning can really be the difference between potentially getting nothing and getting everything you can out of workers' comp. And even then, choosing the right QME can be difficult because maybe you get the right specialty, but you don't know the doctor names. And that's something that's also an art. And a lot of law firms like mine, for example, where we've helped thousands and thousands of people, we know who all the doctors are, we've seen their reports, we've deposed them before, interacted with them. It really is a special process that requires specialized knowledge. So again, I'd say the second best thing is getting to the right QME. The third best thing you can do is to hire an attorney. I say that, it's a bit self-serving, admittedly. Yes, I am an attorney, I do practice workers' comp, and that's why I'm saying I think you should hire one. And that's because we have specialized knowledge, right? We've been through this a lot. I know the system, I know the courts, I know the judges, I know the defense attorneys, the adjusters, the doctors. It's a small world, and we know who's who and we know what needs to be done to get injured workers what they deserve. And it's a very complicated system. It's not easy to navigate. It can be frustrating. The acronyms and language alone seems like a foreign language, and it can be very difficult for someone to absorb it for their very first time and have any kind of good understanding of what they should do with their case. So if you've got a workers' comp case, especially early on, make sure you contact an attorney or at least seek a consultation. They're going to advise you about what the possible outcome is, even potential direction your case can go. And you need to sign up with them, at least kind of figure out where you are on the map, and then you can make a decision. But hiring an attorney allows you to focus on your recovery and also have someone there to talk to and understand what's going on in your case to make sense of things as they come up. For example, the QME issue. If you didn't know about QMEs, you might choose an orthopedic QME, and you might wind up with one of the most conservative QMEs on the planet who's going to say that your back injury didn't happen at work. It's because you have degenerative changes because you're 50 years old and everything that you're experiencing is just a natural progression. And it doesn't matter that you've been a construction worker for 25 years. Stuff like that comes up, and you won't know unless you do know, and that's why hiring an attorney is really worth their weight in gold, at least the 15% that they're typically entitled to, because they can really be a huge addition to your team and really help you get the care, make sure you get with the right doctors, and make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to in workers' comp.